Hey beauties, thank you for tuning back into my channel. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the fragrances I'm excited to wear this fall. These are fragrances that I have waited several months to be able to wear. I mean, it's still pretty hot here because I live in Florida and we're going to be experiencing hot weather for quite some time. But as soon as we get a day that's a little crisp, one of these fragrances is going to come out. So if you're interested in hearing what fragrances I'm excited to wear this fall, then please stay tuned. Hey gorgeous, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I am so grateful for those of you who are subscribed, who have your notification bells turned on, and I'm so grateful that you clicked on another video. For those of you who are new here, on this channel, I make videos on lifestyle, luxury, I do review videos, and I sprinkle in my motherhood journey. So if any of those things sound interesting to you, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and also be sure to turn on your notification bell so you know exactly when my videos drop. All right, let's get into it. The first fragrance on my list is Armani's Sea Intense 2021. So this fragrance, y'all, it is amazing. When I first got this, I wore it nonstop. I can't quite remember when I got it, but when I first picked this up, I did not put this down for maybe a couple of months. And then it got too hot for me to actually enjoy it. But this fragrance has an addictive quality and it is so good. This fragrance has, like I said, blackcurrant at the top. Actually, it's blackcurrant syrup at the top, rose at the mid, and then it has a Donna, and then at the base it has a benzoin and a patchouli. Now the patchouli in here is very understated. It is simply there to ground the fragrance and help it to last. This does last quite some time. It is not the most long lasting, but if you do at least 5 to 10 sprays of this, you will smell this for hours after. And the benzoin, I feel like it's a resinous note, and so it adds this richness and almost this sweet salty vibe. It's like a thick, sweet, salty syrup, a blackcurrant syrup with a touch of rose. Like, that's what I feel like this smells like. A thick, rich, sweet, salty syrup with a touch of rose. It is just gorgeous. Yeah, this is so good, y'all. This is a beautiful fragrance. I don't know, I feel like this is so much more refined, and that's one of the things that I noted when I first got this, is that it performs like a niche fragrance. It is so much more refined than the original Sea. It is deeper, denser, sophisticated, and it's just, it smells expensive. It smells expensive, honestly. So I'm really excited to be wearing Armani's Sea Intense 2021 because I know they just came out with a new one, but this is the 2021 version. So the next fragrance I'm excited to whip out this fall is Ker-leen's Vanilla 28. You all are very familiar with this fragrance, and it is amazing. It is amazing. Now for me this fall, because I've been dibbling and dabbling in so many good fragrances, this is going to be more of a layering fragrance for me. I don't see myself wearing it by itself, unless of course I want to wear it to bed or something like that. But this is going to be the perfect layering fragrance. This has a beautiful brown sugar note. It also has a gorgeous tonka bean at the mid. Now, the top notes are florals. So vanilla orchid is one of the top notes, as well as a jasmine. But honestly, I don't get the florals in this fragrance very much. Again, they're at the top, so maybe I need to focus more on that initial blast when I first spray this, but I don't get those at all. Now the base has a beautiful amber, an amber wood, a musk, and a patchouli. And in this fragrance, again, the patchouli is more of a grounding note. It is not prominent. It is not very forward. It's just there to help this fragrance last long. Now this fragrance is not a long-lasting fragrance overall, but the patchouli does help it to last a few hours and grounds the fragrance. And I feel like the musk in here is not super duper strong either. Really, the star notes in here are the brown sugar, the tonka bean, and the amber, in my opinion. This is such a beautiful fragrance. This is also a fragrance that smells very luxe and very sophisticated and expensive. I think it's because it has this gorgeous Middle Eastern DNA. That could be the reason why. But this just smells luxurious. That's the thing about this vanilla. It's different from any other vanilla fragrance because it smells absolutely luxurious and it is perfect for layering. It complements so many different scents. So this is like a must-have in your collection. Even if you don't plan on wearing this by itself, this is such a nice layering fragrance. It adds a layer of depth and sweetness to any fragrance you pair with. So it's absolutely gorgeous. I've paired it with fragrances for spring and summer and for fall and winter. So I am super duper excited about whipping this one back out this fall. All right, so the next fragrance I'm excited about wearing this fall is one that I've acquired recently. I think some people would say this is more of a spring, maybe even summer fragrance, but in my opinion, because of how thick and rich and sweet it is, I'm actually looking forward to enjoying it this fall. And I am hoping that it holds up in the colder weather. Obviously, I'm in Florida, so we don't get like super duper cold, snowy days. But on our coldest day, I'm really hoping that this fragrance will hold up. And that fragrance is Viktor & Rolf's Flower Bomb Ruby Orchid. I did smell the original Flower Bomb, and I really love the DNA of Flower Bomb. I feel like it is sweet, sultry, sexy, and super girly. But this Ruby Orchid takes it up a notch. Ruby Orchid has peach at the top. It has a vine note, which I don't quite get. It has an orchid at the mid and then a vanilla bean at the base. Now, those are the notes listed on Fragrantica, but I think there are more notes in here. But this is just a beautiful, beautiful, more feminine, more girly, more fruity take on Flower Bomb. There's something about it that just pulls you in. It's something that I can't quite boil down to just the notes in here. There's something about the DNA and the concoction of this that is so unique and just so addictive and so inviting. It smells rich, it smells dense, the vanilla is there, but it's not the star of the show. I feel like it's almost like a peach flavored syrup that you would put into like a mixed drink, but the vanilla gives it that sophistication. So although this is a designer fragrance, I feel like this is a fruity floral that is done in a very refined way. It's not a run-of-the-mill fruity floral. This is a more refined yet really playful and sexy fruity floral. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe this. This is just really, really feminine and really good for those days when you're super duper polished but you want to maintain a playful edge. This is like something I would spray on. So yeah, and I can't even place where I would wear this. That's how unique this is. I would just pull this out when I wanted to feel like that girl. I will pull this out. Oh, and of course, date nights with my hubby. This is definitely one that I would reach for. In keeping with those pink vibes, those fruity floral vibes, I wanted to bring out my latest purchase, and that is Valentino's Donna Born in Roma Rendezvous Pink PP. I think that's the name. It's a really long name. I did a whole video on this, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just going to tell you how I feel, what I love about it, and then you can go and watch the video at your leisure. I will link it here for you. So this fragrance, in my video, I said that this does not smell anything like Donna Born in Roma, and to me, it doesn't. It does not smell anything like the original Donna Born in Roma. I smelled them side by side, and I get maybe a hint of the DNA, but honestly, this is its own fragrance, and this is such a gorgeous fragrance. This is a vanillic orange blossom fragrance. It is so beautiful. The orange blossom is very forward in here, and the vanilla in here is a bourbon vanilla, and the bourbon vanilla is just amazing. On the dry down, you get that bourbon vanilla, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Total cozy vibes on the dry down of this, but when you first spray this, you get a beautiful orange blossom. This fragrance is so ladylike. It makes me feel so pretty, so girly. And after I posted my video, I watched a few reviews, and a lot of people are saying this gives off marshmallowy vibes. This gives off the vibes of Love Don't Be Shy, marshmallowy vibes. And when I went back and smelled this, I think what's giving people the marshmallow essence in here is that sweetness with that, it has like a powdery note in here. It's a little powdery, but then it has a sweetness to it. And I think that sweet and powdery concoction is what is creating this marshmallow nuance, because it definitely smells very light and fluffy and sweet and just, this is so good. I just picked this up, but y'all, this is going to be in rotation, in heavy rotation this fall. And I love that it has this gorgeous bourbon. The bourbon vanilla is what I feel is going to be so appropriate this fall. When I want something more floral, I'm going to pull this out because it kind of checks off both of those boxes. It's super feminine and floral, but it also has that rich bourbon vanilla that just gives it the perfect fall vibes. This next fragrance is a fragrance that I have done a video on, so I will link it here for you to watch, and that is Bond Number 9's Tribeca. This fragrance, if you don't know about this fragrance, I would suggest watching some reviews on this, starting with mine, and getting your nose on this by heading to your local Neiman Marcus, whatever department store you have that would have this counter. Go sniff this because it is absolutely gorgeous. This is like a sweet, nutty, caramel infused, silky, slightly lactonic fragrance. This is so yummy. It's a gourmand, but it is not like overly foodie. It's like the perfect mix for those of you who can appreciate a good gourmand, but you don't want to smell like food. You don't want to walk around smelling like food. I think this has ambroxan in here. The ambroxan keeps this light, and this gives off those Baccarat Rouge vibes, I think, because of that ambroxan. Oh, this is just so good. It is like the perfect fragrance. It's also one of those fragrances similar to Baccarat Rouge that when you spray this on, sometimes you may not be able to smell yourself, but people around you will smell you. And that has happened to me. Like, I've gone in with this because I'm like, I can't really, it's not really giving me that oomph, you know, that wow factor. And I really want to project, and I've oversprayed it, and like literally I've left a sillage for days with this. So this is really good. This is one that I'm looking forward to wearing because this is so cozy yet so refined, so sophisticated. And I don't know, something about this fragrance just makes me feel so pulled together. So when I want to feel extra pulled together on a really cold day this fall, I am definitely going to be reaching for this because that is what it gives off. I love that this is unisex, so both me and my husband can reach for this, but it's really right in the middle, maybe even going a bit towards the feminine side. But it's such a beautiful unisex fragrance, and this is one that I would highly recommend having this in your collection because it is the perfect fragrance. This also pairs really well with other fragrances that might be more floral, and this just gives you that sweet, nutty, caramelly component. So this next fragrance is one that I've done a dedicated video on as well, and this fragrance gives you all the vanilla you're going to need this fall, and that is Black Opium's Le Parfum. Like I said, I've done a whole video on this, so I will link it here for you to go and watch. But y'all, this fragrance is so good. It is overpriced, yes, but by now you should be able to get it at a discount off of all those discounted websites. And if you can, you need this. You need this in your collection. This fragrance has top notes of pear, cinnamon, and a green mandarin at the top. At the mid, it has a Madagascar and a bourbon vanilla. And then at the base, it has vanilla absolute. It has coffee, it has a vanilla orchid, and it has patchouli. Now, I don't get the patchouli. I don't get the vanilla orchid really at all. I don't even get a coffee note. This is literally a blast of that mandarin, that fruitiness at the top, but then it quickly dies down, and you're left with a beautiful vanilla fragrance. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love this fragrance. I honestly could not get into the original Black Opium. It's just, I didn't vibe with it at all. It was headache inducing to me. It was really sharp and just harsh to my nose. But this is one that I was able to get with, and I had no regrets when I first purchased this. At first, there were a lot of mixed reviews on this. A lot of people said that it was overpriced, it wasn't worth it. But slowly but surely, everyone started to realize just how amazing this is because it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is yummy. It is so yummy. It is so yummy. It's not quite a gourmand. It's just a beautifully done vanilla fragrance. This is a year-round vanilla. It doesn't lean too sweet, too gourmand, but it's a beautiful dose of vanilla no matter where you fall. Whether you're obsessed with the vanilla, whether you're somewhere in the middle where you don't mind, or whether you don't really want a bunch of vanilla fragrances because it's not really your thing, but you just want to have like one, this is one to look for. I feel like if you are looking for a plain vanilla fragrance, this is a good one. It has just enough interest. It's not a boring vanilla. It has just enough interest and just enough vanilla to meet all of your vanilla needs. I love this. I cannot wait to wear it out. Like, this is one of the ones that was so addictive to me. I just wore it and wore it and wore it for like a month straight, and I had to force myself to put it down. That's how good this is. Yeah, it's so good. It is so good. So I'm really looking forward to wearing this one. One of the trends I've been loving recently is this trend of trying Middle Eastern fragrances, and particularly the ones that are on Amazon. Now, I am a little too chicken to just blind buy a bunch of fragrances off of Amazon, but I enjoy watching the unboxings, the first impressions, and just the overall reaction videos for these. And there was one time when I got sucked in and I went ahead and I purchased one of those Middle Eastern fragrances off of Amazon, and I do not regret it one bit. And that was Al Rahab's Choco Musk. This is a cheapie that you would never know is a cheapie. It does not smell like a cheapie. It does not perform like a cheapie. It performs like a regular eau de parfum. You get a few hours wear out of this. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's like you douse yourself in milk chocolate with a little bit of a perfume essence. This is so yummy. So this has notes of vanilla, milk chocolate, white musk, cinnamon, spicy notes, amber, sandalwood. It has myrrh and it has rose. Now I will tell you that I don't get myrrh or rose from here. I don't even really get these spicy notes that are listed. What I do get is like a milk chocolate with a little bit of a musk, and I don't even know if I get the cinnamon or the sandalwood. I get milk chocolate, I get a musk, and I get a vanilla. This is like a little bit of an elevated chocolate milk vibe. That's what I get from this. This is just a sweet, slightly floral. Let me spray this on my wrist here. Okay, so as I'm smelling this, I get a hint of those spices that they talk about, but it's really just a vanilla and a really milky chocolate that I get when I smell this fragrance. This is a perfect layering fragrance. So if you're looking for something that has vanilla in it and you don't mind the chocolate note in here, it's not a cacao, it's not a dark chocolate. If you don't mind like a light milky chocolate and you're looking for something with vanilla, I think this is perfect. This is a perfect layering fragrance. If you don't want to break the bank, this I think cost me like $10 off of Amazon, came in a couple of days, and yeah, this is just amazing. This is such a great value. So I would highly recommend this because it is such a great value and it's actually really good. So this next fragrance is, I wouldn't say it's polarizing. I would say there are a lot of negative reviews for this fragrance. But even with those negative reviews, I'm one of the people that actually quite enjoys this fragrance, and that is Ellis Brooklyn's Vanilla Milk. Vanilla milk is vanilla, it's lactonic, it's slightly floral, and it is a beautiful fragrance in my opinion. At the top you have milk, you have frangipani, jasmine, and peony. At the mid you have a bourbon vanilla and a Madagascar vanilla. You also have a cacao pod, and then the base notes are benzoin, amyris, musk, and sandalwood. What I get when I smell this is a beautiful milky vanilla with some richness at the base. And I'm assuming that richness has to do with the benzoin and the amyris. This is quite literally a lactonic fragrance. You literally will smell like vanilla milk when you put this on. But there's also this sweet, sort of dense, resinous vanilla in here, and that I think is the bourbon vanilla with that beautiful benzoin. I don't get the floral notes as much. They probably are right at the beginning of this. Yeah. A lot of people said that when they spray this, they smell burnt tires, they smell like egg in the beginning. A lot of people say that they do not like the initial spray. And I think if you can get past the initial spray, you'll realize how amazing this fragrance is, especially if you are a true lactonic fragrance lover. Another thing that I noted with this is that a lot of people like a little bit of a lactonic nuance in their fragrances, but are not necessarily lactonic fragrance lovers. And there's a difference. Like if you love a good lactonic, if your nose is inclined to love a lactonic fragrance, then you're gonna love this. But if your nose just likes a little bit of a lactonic nuance, you're probably not going to like the opening of this. I think with this fragrance, that's the case. Now for me, I love a good lactonic fragrance. Give me all the milky vibes. I really want to try Blanche Bette because I feel like that is one of those quintessential lactonic lover fragrances. And this one, if you give it a try, if you're a lactonic lover, I think you will really quite like this. Give that initial spray time to wear off, which it doesn't take long, maybe a few minutes, and you'll get into the goodness of this. This smells... There's something about this, it mixes with my body heat and it makes me smell like, almost like I just smell sweet from within. Okay, so this, it's not like a beast mode fragrance. It's a moderate projecting fragrance in every single way. And I think that's a good thing because it's almost as if you just naturally smell sweet. I don't know how else to explain that, but it's almost like you naturally smell sweet. The scent of this is just emanating from your skin. And I love that about this fragrance. Oh, this is so good. I'm really excited about wearing this fall because those are the vibes. Those are the vibes this fall. I want to smell naturally sweet. As you can see, I have used and abused, and I will probably finish it this fall. This next one is a niche fragrance, and I'm so happy I took the leap. When I watched oh my goodness, I think the Gourmand King here on YouTube is whose video I came across. He is who introduced me to Kilombo by Fueguia 1833, I believe. Y'all, this fragrance is so good. It's such a gem. It is such a gem. If you like caramel, if you like a slightly lactonic, gourmand type of fragrance, I think you will enjoy this. I think you'll enjoy it. So let's get into the notes because it's been a while since I've worn this, so I don't remember. This has a milk note at the top. At the mid, it has caramel and Mexican vanilla, and then at the base, it has sugar. That Mexican vanilla is very different from the vanillas that you have smelled or the vanillas in any of the fragrances that I've talked about earlier. The vanilla in here is quite unique. It smells like, the best way I can explain it is if you know someone from the islands or from another country, or if you yourself and your family is from the islands or from another country, from another continent, you know that things like the chocolate, things like the vanilla, things like the cinnamon in those other countries are different than the American or just the Western versions of those things are very different than the vanilla and the chocolate and the cinnamon from other parts of the world. That's the best way I can explain the difference between the vanilla in this fragrance and in the other fragrances I talked about in this video. This is fabulous. It's a fabulous fragrance. It is like a sweet, milky caramel. So imagine you had like a glass of warm milk and then you poured in some pure vanilla extract with a pure caramel syrup that was very viscous, very light, not like a thick syrup. And then you mix everything together. That's what you would get with kilombo. And that description doesn't even do this fragrance justice. This is just a gem. And if you love a good lactonic fragrance and you want a new house to try, I would say try Fueguia 1833. Get a sample of this and you won't be disappointed. So I even get like a slightly salty vibe from here. So it's like, and of course, caramel has a slightly salty vibe. Caramel is like very, very sweet with a hint of salt. And that's what I get from this. And then you have like that tall, warm glass of milk. Mix in that sweet, salty caramel. Mix in some vanilla extract. And that's what you get with this fragrance. It is very edible smelling, but it's not cloying. It is very light. It's just beautiful. As you can see, I have used this one quite a bit. When I first got it, it was very difficult for me to put it down. I wore it all times of the day. I wore it to go out and I wore it to bed. I was completely obsessed with it and I am so looking forward to wearing it again this fall. This is such a great fragrance. Okay, y'all, so to wrap up this video, I wanted to talk about a classic fragrance. This fragrance I'm bringing out this fall because I live in Florida and this is your Beast Mode super sweet, super dense fragrance. It is not a gourmand. It's not like a vanilla fragrance. I would say this is like an ambery floral vanilla, but because of how dense and just beast mode and sweet this is, I was waiting for the perfect time to wear it, and this fall is the perfect time. I've worn this a few times throughout the year, and I wore it when I went out by myself because I knew that it wouldn't like offend anyone. I was by myself. I got dressed up, I put it on, and it was perfect. I don't know, but I feel like this is just a bit much for like the summertime when you're spending time with other people, so I wanted to wait for the perfect time. And the fragrance I'm talking about is Lancome's La Vie Est Belle. This is good, y'all. This fragrance is absolutely gorgeous. It's a classic for a reason. I know a lot of people are tired of it, but it's a classic for a reason. And I'm so happy to have added it to my collection. My collection is about like 30 perfumes right now. And every time it's gone over that amount, I have sold perfumes. And that is because I'm trying to curate a collection that encompasses classics, things that really define who I am, and fragrances that bring me joy. And this is one of those classics that I feel like I needed in my collection. This has notes of blackcurrant and pear at the top. It has iris, jasmine, and orange blossom at the mid, a beautiful praline, a vanilla, a patchouli, and a tonka bean at the base. I'm sure that everyone is tired of hearing about this fragrance right now because everyone was obsessed with it, to my understanding, when it first came out. Now, I would say I got into fragrances in the past few years, and so for me, I didn't grab this when it first came out. I was on the tail end of this when people were starting to get tired of it. But y'all, I can see why people were so obsessed with this. This is an it girl fragrance for sure. So to my nose, that blackcurrant that's in here is also similar to the blackcurrant syrup that's in Armani's C Intense 2021. So there's a thick syrupy essence to this. There's a gorgeous praline, the vanilla, the florals, and that's what I get in here. The patchouli comes out, but it's not a harsh patchouli. It does come out towards the dry down of this on my skin. But really what I get is a beautiful berry at the top. And then I get a praline and vanilla at the mid with florals. This is just the most gorgeous fragrance. When I'm totally pulled together, I'm totally put together, this is one of the ones that I am reaching for. There's a sweet accord, a vanilla accord. The iris in here, although it is a purple floral, this is not an overly powdery floral whatsoever. There's a hint of powderiness to it, but it's nothing crazy. Really what I get is like a sweet, fruity vanilla. It's slightly warm and spicy, but mostly sweet. The praline in here, I think, makes this so addictive. It's like the perfect combination of sweet, fruity floral, and gourmand. If you don't have this, you can probably get it at a super discounted price nowadays. So I would highly suggest trying this one out. And this is one that I'm looking forward to getting more enjoyment from this fall. All right, y'all. So we made it. We made it through all of the fragrances in my current collection that I'm looking forward to wearing this fall. Thank you for sticking around if you're still here. I know this was a long one. If you enjoyed this kind of video and you enjoyed this one, then don't forget to hit that like button on your way out and also subscribe. Hit the notification bell, join the family so you will never miss another video. And as we close out today, I wanted to share with you that you have permission. Permission to be great, permission to pursue your passions and your dreams, permission to strive to be the best version of yourself. You have permission. I know a lot of times we can feel like we have too many responsibilities. The people that are closest to us don't truly believe in us, just not supporting you in reaching your goals. Maybe you feel like your time has passed, it's too late, and I'm here to remind you today, you have permission. I needed that reminder today, so you better believe I will be doing the same. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one very soon. Bye.